The air around you feels different, doesn't it? A subtle hum beneath the surface of everyday life. You've noticed the patterns, the way certain struggles repeat, the feeling of déjà vu that isn't just a trick of the mind. It's like a familiar script playing out, but you never volunteered for the role. This isn't a glitch in your perception, it's the first ripple of a greater truth. Your world, your very identity, is not as fixed as you believe. It's in a constant, silent process of recreation. And before we dive deeper, make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell. These revelations aren't random, and if this video found you, it was meant to. Now let's begin. What you've perceived as coincidence, as random chance, was actually an early tremor. The old structures, the narratives you've lived by, are already beginning to fracture. This isn't theoretical, it's happening in your lived experience right now. The sense of being stuck, the frustrating loops you encounter, these are the echoes of a previous self still generating its reality. Your repeated failures were never accidents, they were simply echoes of an old identity still rendering. But what happens when that identity finally collapses? This naturally leads us to how our reality is filtered by familiarity. We often believe we see the world as it truly is, but that's an illusion. Your awareness acts like a personal curator, sifting through an infinite potential to present you with what it already knows. Every experience, every perception is filtered through the lens of your past. This isn't a deliberate choice. It's a subconscious mechanism. Your mind prioritizes the familiar, the safe, the expected. It creates a seamless feedback loop, reinforcing what you already believe to be true about yourself and your environment. Think of it as a comfortable cage built from old memories and ingrained beliefs. You keep bumping into the same walls, not because new paths don't exist, but because your internal compass is constantly guiding you back to the well-trodden. You're not truly seeing new possibilities when your filters are designed to only recognize the old ones. This familiar lens is not just a passive observer, but an active participant, defining the very boundaries of your current reality. But how does this filter become so powerful, so absolute in its dominion? This brings us to how the observer traps the loop. Your consciousness, your very act of observation, is not passive. It's an active force, a spotlight that illuminates and solidifies. When you focus your attention, you don't just see, you participate in the creation of what you see. Every time you engage with a repeated struggle, every time you affirm a belief about yourself, you are pouring energy into that specific pathway. You become the anchor point, the gravitational center for that particular version of reality. The loops you experience aren't external traps. They are self-generated patterns held in place by the unwavering gaze of your own observer. You are not a victim of circumstance, but an unwitting architect of your repeating scenarios. The longer your attention rests on a specific outcome or self-identity, the more solid it becomes. You don't just perceive the loop, you maintain it. This feedback mechanism is a crucial, often overlooked aspect of your perception. The very act of observing solidifies the observed, making it harder to break free. This solidifies into what we call the memory imprint reality. Every past event, every emotion, every belief you've ever held leaves an imprint. These aren't just fleeting thoughts, they are foundational layers, a kind of internal sediment that shapes your present. This collection of imprints forms the bedrock of your reality. It's why certain situations feel fated to repeat, or why you find yourself reacting in familiar, often unproductive ways. Your memory isn't just a record of the past, it's an active determinant of your present and future. These imprints act as templates. When a new situation arises, your subconscious rapidly scans these templates and attempts to align the present with a familiar past. This creates a powerful, self-fulfilling prophecy. You aren't experiencing new events in a vacuum, you're projecting old patterns onto new canvases. This constant rendering of imprinted realities keeps you firmly rooted in what has been, rather than what could be. To truly break free, then, you must stop looking the same way. The most insidious trap is the belief that a new outcome requires more effort within the old framework. You've tried harder, pushed further, analyzed endlessly, all while using the same lens, the same perspective. This is like trying to change a painting by vigorously scrubbing the canvas with the same colors. True change begins with a shift in your internal gaze. It means consciously disengaging from the familiar narrative, even when it feels uncomfortable, even when it feels like you're losing your footing. Stop searching for new answers within the old questions. The way you frame what is happening to you, the questions you ask, the assumptions you hold, these are the real shapers of your experience. If you continue to look at the world through the filters of your imprinted past, you will only see reflections of that past. The external world will mirror your internal framework, perpetuating your loops. How then do we even begin to alter this deep-seated, repetitive programming? We start by recognizing symbols as code fractures. Life often throws repetitive, seemingly random events your way, a recurring image, a repeated phrase, a sense of déjà vu that feels heavier than usual. These aren't just quirks, they are symbols acting as deliberate fractures in the code of your current reality. Think of them as glitches. They're moments where the underlying program of your perception reveals itself. They're not errors. They're signals indicating a point of instability, a place where your established reality is beginning to fray at the edges. These symbols are invitations. They highlight the exact points where your subconscious filters are no longer holding firm. They are opportunities to peer through the cracks, to question the foundational beliefs that hold your current reality in place. By noticing these recurring symbols, you begin to observe the cracks in the matrix, creating an opening for a new layer of observation. But how do we interpret these fractures, and why has all our efforts so far been for naught? Because of the effort illusion, why trying keeps you stuck. You've been told to try harder, to work relentlessly, to force your desired reality into existence. This advice, often well-intentioned, is precisely what keeps you trapped. True change isn't about more effort, it's about redirected energy. When you try hard within the old framework, you are, by definition, reinforcing the very reality you wish to escape. Your struggle, your striving, your constant engagement with the problem only serves to solidify its presence. The universe responds to your state of being, not just your frantic actions. If your trying is tinged with desperation, with the underlying belief of lack, then that's exactly what you'll continue to manifest. You are creating from the energy of absence. The effort illusion dictates that working harder on the symptom means you've ignored the root observer state that generates the symptom. This deeper understanding brings us to the uncomfortable but necessary truth: when the self must die. The self you currently identify with, the collection of beliefs, memories, fears, and hopes you hold as you, is the primary engine driving your current reality. To truly shift, this self must undergo a profound transformation, a symbolic death. This doesn't mean physical demise, but a collapse of the old identity. It's the shedding of outdated narratives, the release of limiting labels, the dismantling of everything you thought you were. This process is terrifying because it feels like losing yourself. Yet, remaining tethered to this old self is what keeps you anchored to your current, unwanted loops. Your struggles exist because that version of you requires them to exist to maintain its identity. To embody a new reality, you must allow the old self to dissolve, to make way for the emergent self that already exists within the quantum field of potential. This dissolution is not an ending, but a necessary prelude to the micro-shifts that break the feed. You don't need a cataclysmic event to shatter your old reality. Instead, look for micro-shifts, tiny adjustments in your perception and response. These subtle movements, accumulated, create a profound ripple effect. It's a slight pause before an automatic reaction, a conscious choice to notice a pattern rather than ignore it, a moment of questioning a long-held belief. These are the hinges upon which new doors swing open. Each micro-shift introduces a tiny divergence from your established feed of reality. It's like rerouting a single drop of water, Eventually, the stream itself changes course. It's about interrupting the predictable. These small, intentional breaches in your perceptual habits are far more powerful than any amount of brute force. They are the cracks through which a new reality can begin to seep into your observer's awareness. But even with these shifts, there's always a waiting period. This waiting period is really the lag isn't a lie, it's a test. You've initiated micro-shifts, you've started to see the cracks, yet the old reality persists for a while. This isn't a sign of failure, it's an inherent feature of perception, a necessary temporal buffer. This lag is not a lie, but a critical stage. Think of it as the universe ensuring your new perception is stable, that your shift is genuine and not just a fleeting whim. It's a test of your conviction, your ability to maintain your new internal state even when external circumstances haven't yet caught up. During this lag, the old reality is still dissolving, while the new one is solidifying. It's a period of overlap, where past momentum meets emerging potential. Those who revert during this phase never truly break free. The lag isn't meant to deceive you, but to deepen your commitment to the reality you are actively forging. It begs the question, if reality takes time to catch up, then whose script is this anyway? You've lived under the impression that you are simply a character, playing a predetermined role in a story written by external forces. But what if the stage, the props, and even the script itself are direct projections of your own deeper consciousness? Every limitation, every repeated challenge, every perceived failure, they are not random acts of fate. They are elements within a narrative that your own observer has, perhaps unknowingly, sanctioned or even authored. The world you experience is not a fixed, objective entity. It is a constantly rendered reality, pulling its details from the deepest levels of your subconscious programming and belief systems. You might not be writing the lines consciously, but you've been shaping the plot. The real question is not who wrote the script, but who is currently holding the pen. Your ability to rewrite the coming scenes is directly connected to the realization that the original author has always been you. This awareness paves the way for the profound understanding that the shift happens when you stop searching. You've spent so much time diligently searching for the answers, looking for the secret key, the hidden knowledge that will unlock your new reality. But the act of searching itself assumes that what you seek is external, something missing from within you. The constant quest implies a lack, an incompleteness, and what you project outwards, you inevitably experience. Your search for a different reality becomes another loop, reinforcing the idea that you haven't yet found it, that it's always just out of reach. The shift isn't found through external exploration, it's discovered through internal cessation. When you stop striving, stop grasping, and simply allow yourself to be in the awareness of a different possibility, that's when the internal reorientation occurs. The moment of release, the surrender of the frantic search, is the precise moment when your internal observer aligns with the reality that was always waiting to be rendered. This level of insight suggests that some truths are not meant for everyone. You were never meant to see this, or were you? There's a reason these truths remain hidden in plain sight, obscured by the noise of conventional thought. Not everyone is ready for the profound responsibility that comes with understanding their role in shaping reality. This knowledge challenges the very fabric of victimhood, shattering the comfort of external blame. It demands a level of self-authorship that most are unwilling or unable to embrace. It asks you to step into a power you didn't know you possessed. Perhaps you stumbled upon these ideas by chance, or perhaps your inner observer had already begun to whisper, pulling you towards this deeper understanding. There are no accidents in the unfolding of awareness. The fact that you are engaging with these concepts now suggests that your dormant capacity for perception has been stirred. The veil is thinning, not for everyone, but specifically for those whose inner quest has prepared them to truly see. Make sure to subscribe for more videos and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video. We'll see you in the next one.